Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midgard Golf. And we're back out here today in Estes Park, Colorado, playing the 18-hole course at Estes Park. And down the road, there's another 9-hole track that we still have yet to play. We were going to play it this day as well, but yeah, we could not get a tee time. I think it was already closed for the season. So anyway, I'm out here with Jeremy and Drew. Drew, you've seen on the channel once before when we were up there playing Mount Massive. But yeah, I'm just filming myself today. But on the side, we were playing the poker chip game. So yeah, there was some discussion on camera that I chopped most of it out anyway. But yeah, about the rules of that game and whatnot. And yeah, playing that on the side. But anyhow, none of that's factoring into this video. And if you're liking this content that we're putting up, throw us a like and subscribe. You know we would love to see you back. So this first hole here, and boy, it starts you off strong. And we're playing it from 1 up, so that's Long's Peak there, at 6,319 yards, and the course tips out at 65.45. And a lot of holes on the whole course here from the 1 up is just the same as the tip. So a good chunk of the course we're just tipping it out. To include this first hole here, that's playing for us at 440 yards, and that is the tips. So there you have it. And the number 1 handicap on the course. So yeah, it starts you out with a beating right off the rip. And then the whole course ends with the number 2 handicap. The number 18th hole is the number 2 handicap. So how about that? You've got a bunch of holes smattered between the 2 most difficult holes on the course. So this hole here, pretty straight away par 4 really. Not a whole lot to speak of in the way of turns, and no bunkers on the entire hole. However, if you miss hard enough left on your drive and you really pound one down there, you might actually get in the green side bunker on number 2, which runs parallel to this hole way down there. If you smash it down there and miss left hard enough towards the second hole, which is just a short little par 3, you might just have to hit your approach shot onto the number 1 green here over the number 2 green. So be leery of that. Apart from that, I think the good side miss for the angle, especially considering the foliage, the treeage that you have to deal with, is definitely a right side miss off the tee box here. But once you get up to the green, I'd have to say the opposite, that you'd much rather miss the green to the left. So driver in hand, we're just going to swing free and swing easy and see if we can't pound one down there. And yeah, see what we can do on this hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, well, that's a rough start. We're starting off with a double bogey. I don't often do that, but hey, it is what it is. When your first hole's the number 1 handicap on the course, that's going to happen, I reckon. So, it is what it is. Onward to the second hole here, and as I mentioned And the first hole, just a little par 3 here. Playing first on 143 yards, and that's also the tips, 143. So, yeah, we're tipping this one out as well for the one-up tee box here. But anyway, I mean, not a whole lot to worry about. You just got that one lone bunker there, just front left of the green, and that's pretty much it. Those 3 trees in the background, I'd say you probably have to crush one about 165 or so in order to get to those. So as long as you stay under that yardage, then you won't be having to worry about those, at least if you're playing this tee box. So I have the pitching wedge in hand. I'm just going to send it up there, see if I can't stab this green. Not a whole lot to it. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are on the third hole. Another marginally lengthy par 4 we've got here. Playing for us at 406 yards, and tipping out at 441. So we get a little bit of reprieve here for the one-up tee boxes, finally. But anyway, yeah, again, a fairly straight hole here. Not a whole lot to worry about in the way of dog legs. Actually, nothing at all. But a marginally narrow fairway, so you've got that to consider, that's for sure. Tree lined on both sides, especially early in the hole. But once you pound one down there, about level with the bunkers that'll be off to the, or the one bunker I should say, that'll be off to your right side, the trees kind of start to dissipate a little bit. So, yeah, if you can rip it a good little ways, then there'll be less trees the further you hit it. So you're rewarded for hitting a big shot, that's for sure. If you can get past the bunker on the right side, then absolutely the left is the good side miss. As from there on in, you'll basically be devoid of trees all the way the rest of the way to the green. Now, if you can hit, if you're playing from these tee boxes or the tips, you'll be having to hit a really bomb drive down there in order to catch it. But if you're a sizable enough hitter and you happen to be playing 2-up or any further up than that, then there is a blind lake that's up there off to the right side. You've got no business being over there. However, if you do end up happen to smash one over there, fair chance you could reach that lake. I remember Jeremy did last time. But we were playing 2-up last time. We were playing the Chief's Head tees. So we were playing it at just, 370 yards instead of the 406 we're playing it today. So, yeah, for me, this day, probably no chance I'm going to make that lake off to the right anyway. Not really worried about it. But, yeah, and I'm trying to miss left anyhow. So, let's give it a rip, driver in hand, and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are off to the fourth hole. And the number 5 handicap on the course here. Playing for us at 428 yards and tipping out at the same. So, yep, we're just playing the tips here. Again. So, yeah, lengthy par 4 for sure. But, and there's a slight bit of a dog leg here. Just a tiny bend to the right. But, by and large, pretty straightforward hole, I'd say. So far as bunker trouble is concerned, you've got 2 bunkers off to the right, kind of right in the middle of the fairway, lengthwise. And then as you get up to the green, there's 1 lone bunker just to the front right of the green, and that's all you got. Apart from that, it's, yeah, sporadic tree line on both sides. So right there lateral with the bunkers, if that happens to be your landing distance, then off to the left of that is a sizable enough clearing to where if you get up into that rough, you shouldn't really have a whole lot of problem with the trees that'll be right in front of you. Especially if you're missing to the left, then you're likely playing a draw. And yeah, you'll be able to hit that same shape up onto the green for your next shot. Albeit, it'll be a lengthy one from there, that's for sure. So, let's give it a rip, driver in hand. I'm playing mostly cuts right now anyway. So I am just going to play it over that left line and let it fade on back into the fairway from there. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do.
Oh God, good hit.
It's coming back.
Yeah, good one.
That was wild.
Yeah, it was.
Lawson. Oh, I seen it. Good hit.
Hit in the fairway?
Yeah. Yeah, left side of the fairway.
Sweet.
That was a good hit, bro.
Thanks, brother.
That was unreal.
I was like, I need a cut here. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 5th hole. And another par 4 for us. Playing for us at 398 yards and tipping out at 420. So just 22 yards we've got on this hole up from the tips. But yeah, so another marginally lengthy par 4 here for us. Albeit the shortest one that we've seen yet so far today. And it's rather nice to be off the bogey train, finally. With that last hole on number 4 there. That was nice. So, anyway, this hole here, pretty straightforward again. Yeah, no dog leg, just a straight down hole, but a super narrow fairway, I should say. And you've got houses now off to the right-hand side. Plenty of trees guarding those houses, especially for where your ball's likely to be falling. So, fair chance that yeah, you're protected from actually smashing any windows or anything like that off the drive unless you really smoke one. But yeah, apart from that, you've got, yeah, trees on both sides really, obviously. More trees there off to the left. However, the trees off to the left clear up a lot faster than the ones off to the right. So that's the side I'm saying is the good side miss. But yeah, after that, approaching the green, and the entire hole is bunkerless, again, just like the first hole there. But yeah, as you get up there, the majority of the trees will be on the left side. So if you do happen to miss left, then your approach shot on the green, if you're not impeded by trees right in front of you, might just end up being a blind one. So be leery of that. Really try to hit this fairway. Anyway, what's my plan? I got the driver in hand, and I'm just going to hit a cut over that left line and let it fade on back in, baby. You know what I do these days anyway. let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 6th hole, and finally the first par 5 of our day here. So playing for us at 540 yards and tipping out at 571. So, I mean, modestly lengthy par 5, but yeah, not overly long, not brutal, but yeah, incredibly narrow. That's for sure. So, and a bit of a dog leg right here from the perspective of the tee box. And words to the wise, kind of neat. So, as the tee box that we're standing on here, as a matter of fact, that's where we're playing from today. Yeah, you actually end up having to hit over the street. So, take heed about your drive here, obviously. Listen for cars coming. No reason to hit a smoking bullet right into somebody's window. That would be unfortunate. But yeah, so yeah, check for that. Anyway, so obviously cut is the only real good shape here. I mean, if you hit a draw, then boy, you're really going to have to get it up fast to clear the tree line that's going to be immediately there off to your right. And if you don't, if you just hit one straight out there and then pull it from there, oh boy, you're going to turn this into a really long hole, especially seeing as that you're playing adjacent to the driving range off to the left there. So if you can remember what color the balls in the driving range are and maybe hit a different colored ball off the tee box just in case you happen to snap one over there, make it a little easier to find your ball. If you dare venture in there to go get it at all, then that would be a good idea. So yeah, what am I doing? I'm playing a cut, man. Cut's what you want on this hole, so that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, just smack it on down there and see if I can't get myself in a position to try to get on in 2. And the only bunker you really have to worry about in this hole is right up next to the green, just to the front left of it. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 7th hole and the second and final par 3 for this front 9 for us here. Playing for us at 168 yards and tipping out at the same. So, yep, playing this one from the tips again. So, but downhill a little bit, so probably only playing more like 155. Yeah, somewhere around about there. However, the wind tends to blow right in your face on this hole, so maybe closer like play in the same yardage, especially if it's super windy. So you've got that to deal with too. So far as bunker trouble is concerned, you've got a sizable bunker off to the front left, crawling all the way up to lateral left of the green, and then a nice small little circular bunker there off to the front right. Let's see here. If you miss left, then pretty much no worries all the way up there. If you miss right, by God, just get over those trees, those big old tall trees there, and then at least you'll have a clear shot on the green. If you don't, ooh, could be a real long hole for you. So, yeah, make sure you get that number no matter what you do. So, I have the 8-iron in hand. I'm just going to send it up there and try to stab this green, of course. It's a par 3, right? Let's give it a rip and see what we can do.
If you're in bounce,
Yeah. Should be fair, right?
Oh, well then I would have it.
right, but you have it.
Oh yeah. Got the club?
That's a 6. Oh, you're shitting me! I didn't see it.
I hit the green and it spun off. Yeah.
Does that count as going off the
All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 8th hole and our final par 4 for this front 9 out here on the 18-hole course at Estes Park in Estes Park, Colorado. So, yeah, oh man, oh, this is ugly. What you're going to see here is me dropping my pencil, and I had been dropping my pencil the entire 9, and like I lost 2 of them. I was onto my own pencils now, and I was like, oh, what the heck? So I dropped it, and I was still filming. I was like, where'd it go? And then I didn't put the cart in park, so the cart started running away from me, and that's what you're witnessing here. A complete, just, yeah, shit show of shenanigans over a pencil. You'd have thought it was John Wick's pencil or something, the way that I was scrambling for it. Anyway. Yeah, it is what it is. Oh gosh, into the ropes. Yeah, just terrible, dismal. Yeah, you can imagine everybody was laughing at me. It was a grand time. So this hole here, definitely in contention for my favorite hole on this course. It's between this one and 17. I really like 17 too. But yeah, this one's definitely my favorite hole on the front 9, that's for sure. So a short-ish par 4 here, 341 yards for us and 341 yards from the tips too, so we're just basically tipping this hole out. But yeah, I mean, narrow, especially if you're a left side misser. You really don't want to miss to the left there, otherwise you're going to be off this nasty slope and make it unreasonably difficult to get up on this green. So really try not to snap one here. If you happen to miss to the right, once you pump it down there far enough, you might end up in somebody's backyard. But, yeah, I doubt it. You know, if you're going for a fade, then just take that left line just like I'm going to. You know the drill. So, anyway, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to float one out there and keep it nice and safe and give myself a good chance to get up on this green. If you end up too far right, however, although I'm saying that is the good side miss, then you are going to have some trees to contend with, and there's a nice steep slope up there that runs all the way to the green that kind of gives you a little bit of sort of sideboard support that's basically going to block your view of the green if you don't hit this fairway. So there is that. Either way, if you miss hard left or right, it's going to be a blind shot, but at least you'll have the high ground, Obi-Wan Kenobi style, if you miss it to the right. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 9th hole. And of course, our final hole for this first part of this two-part series out here at Estes Park. So thank you again for watching so much. And join us for the back nine out here, especially if you haven't seen this course before, if you didn't watch Jeremy and I scramble it the last time we were out here. As yeah, the back nine is really pretty out here on this course, that's for sure. But so this hole here, so yeah, one of the shorter par 5s I think I've ever played here. Only 483 yards for us, tipping out at 505. And let's see what the forwards are here. The forwards are only 285. So yeah, by all standards, just a really short par 5. And I don't understand why. It's like, you know, you can miss a pretty good ways in both directions, albeit your lie is probably going to suck pretty bad if you miss hardcore off to the left. If you miss off to the right, there's one bunker that could trap your ball. Kind of where your drive could land. I could definitely see drives landing right there where that bunker is. But, I mean, you know, apart from that, if you miss off to the right, you're playing adjacent to the 18th hole. So you're going to be fine. So, I mean, just hit a cut out there and you're going to be good. And just smash the heck out of it. Give yourself an opportunity to get on in 2. That's for sure. Take advantage of this hole. Once you do get up to the green, however, there are 3 guardian bunkers that are right in front of the green. One front left, one front middle, one front right. But apart from that, not a whole lot to worry about. You've got some backboard support there that will stop your ball from going too far past the green if you do happen to smoke your second shot, or your third, you know, if you're going for it in 3. However, it's a nice big old rock mound that's laden with trees. So if you get up in there, yeah, that could easily take away your chances to try to, yeah, make a birdie or an eagle or whatever you were going for. So I've got the driver in hand. Of course, I'm just going to hit a big old cut out there, and just smash it as hard as I can. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do.
like the birdie shit. Long drive, GIR, birdie. All mine.
Talk a lot of shit.
I earned it. I earned a lot of shit.